All right, so.
Okay. Do you want to say hi? I'm Joe.
Is that what you want? Hey gang, this is Joe from Laser Technology. Facebook, it's Laser Joe.
Laser Joe. Awesome. We'll look you up.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start a file with MapSmart, and I'm going to show you how to backsite the true angle and get the file started and get the workflow so everybody's on the same page. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up MapSmart here on the data collector.
Great.
And we're going to pick new file, and we're going to call this one, let's just call it test, let's call it test 2. Now the method, because this is an angle encoder, right? It's not a compass. It's radial with angles. The method, we're in meters. We're in meters here, meters here. Instrument height, that's the measurement from the ground to the middle of the eyepiece. The side target height in this particular exercise is 0 because we're not shooting any targets out there that you would hold up or whatever. And then the traverse target height basically is 0 because we're going to traverse to a ground target, one of the covers or something like that, valve covers here on the grass. But if you would move the instrument and use a target, you would want that height in here.
So when we have our rod and we have someone holding the prism, that's the target height.
That's the target height.
And it's the height from the ground up to the center of the target.
That's correct. So I'm just going to hit start. And it looks like test 2 has already been in there.
We're like test 14.
So that is okay. Yeah, we'll call it TSS. We'll just make it even different. Okay. Okay, we're going to set control point 1. Right now, the default is 0, 0, 0, so this control point's the middle of our XY coordinate grid. Or we can reference the origin, or we can enter a reference azimuth or reference an XY. So I'm just going to hit XY, and I'm just going to use the default for this exercise. And I'm going to hit next. Now, if I had a GPS position for this, I could put it in right here, so I could just basically just go, let's just for sake of argument, whoops, dang, damn it. So let's say 44.22, and then negative 112.547, something like that.
And that's just in the notes if we took a GPS point here.
That's correct. And I'm just going to hit done. Okay, so now.
So the default was 0 and 10. Is that 10 meters from somewhere? Or?
Well, it's like a state plane default.
Okay.
So yeah, basically on the y-axis.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're ready. So the CP is in the middle of the XY coordinate grid. Okay. So we're ready to take our first shot to a feature on the field. So what we do now is we crank up the encoder, and it says IND. It's indexing it. So basically, we got to just give it a quick spin here until we get zeros blinking. See the zeros are blinking there.
Yep.
Right.
Zeros are blinking.
Zeros are blinking. So I'm going to backside it on that middle little tree there, because we can actually come back to that if we need to.
So is backsighting referencing?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's zeroing or referencing. So now, if you notice, I moved it a little bit, but we're at 359. It's basically 0, so I backsighted it right there. So now we're ready to take our first shot.
Okay. So that just sets our 0 point.
Right.
Okay.
And I like to, if you're we use GPS here for this coordinate, what I would do on a beach scenario, or one of your scenarios, we don't have a permanent landmark out there, go out a ways as far as makes sense, and create another GPS position and put a target there that you could see.
Okay.
Note that GPS position,
Yep.
and then go ahead and backside on that.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
That way, if you have to come back to this position, at least you can come back to your origin,
Yep.
navigate to it, set up your instrument,
And zero.
backside to the same thing, open up the same file, and all those data
Okay.
points, feature points, are going to be spatially correct.
Got it. Okay, so just so I'm clear, I'm out at the beach. I took my GPS point. Say I went and I took a backsite to like a restroom facility or a lifeguard
That's
that's
fine.
there, and then so every time I come back, that would be my 0 point. So that's
That
going
would
to
be your
tell
reference for this from your instrument
from my
position.
instrument. So that would always be my 0
Sure.
degree.
Right.
And everything would be relative.
Right.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally makes sense now.
Okay, so now I'm going to take my first shot, and I'm just going to shoot that light standard over there.
Okay.
Okay, and it asked me for a note.
We learned to love that sound out in the field.
Okay, so you have a library or pick list, and you don't have
Uh-huh.
anything in there, so I'm just gonna put light. Okay.
Just right. We did start adding things to our pick
Okay.
list.
So I can actually add it to the pick list right here if I wanted to.
Yep.
Okay, and I hit done.
Okay.
So there's our first point.
See? Good.
Now let's say I'm going to measure all the light standards here. So
Okay.
I'm going to check auto.
Yep.
So I don't have to put a note in for each one. Now, if you want them in sequence, light 1, light 2, light 3, then you're going to have to do that. all
Yep.
right? You wouldn't want to check auto.
Right.
But this is kind of nice. So if you're doing a beach profile,
Right.
right, and you're going to have 50 points on that profile,
Yep.
just check auto because it's profile 1, whatever the note might be, and just bang, bang, bang,
Right.
bang,
Because
bang.
we have
That
the
way you don't have to
same
put a
rod
note every
height.
time.
Yep.
Unless
Because it's
you
all
wanna
going to be the
put-
same, right?
Right.
Well, unless you want to put like a note for like this is where the berm is, and then you
Yeah. But we
Absolutely.
did that because you can check and uncheck
You
auto.
can uncheck auto on the fly, so that's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Because we did that and we marked
But if
where
your
we
notes
hit.
are going to be the same, check auto. You're
Yep.
saving time in the field, right?
Yep.
As long as nothing changes.
Right.
So I'm going to start shooting some light standards here, and we're going to. Now I'm actually shooting them. I'm actually shooting the standard, the light itself,
The top of the
standard.
light poles.
I'm just shooting them all. I'm just shooting them all in various places
Okay.
because I'm not too worried. I'm just worried about the position of the light, not the height or anything.
Okay.
Now,
So just where it is.
yeah.
Now, if you wanted to get the height of one of them,
could do the horizontal height
I'll
and
do that.
measure it like, or
Let's,
no, vertical height.
let's pick one we can see really good.
Okay.
Let's pick this closest one right here.
okay.
So you can see here's all our light standards popping up. Okay.
Yep. There they
Okay,
are.
so we're going to do the height of the light pole.
Okay.
I'm going to show you how to do this in software.
Yep.
Okay. So because this we're already mapping, right?
Right.
So I'm going to shoot this closest one. I'm going to shoot where the top of the concrete. That's generally where they do a light standard height.
Okay.
It's top of the concrete base.
Okay. Great.
Well,
Top of the
depend on
concrete
the
base.
on the
Who's ever
municipality.
doing it? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'm shooting down at the base there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm going to go right to the top of the light standard there.
So just
top
two
of the
shots.
finial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mapped them both in, right?
Okay.
The last shot was point 11. See, it's right there. It's always the last point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this icon right here. See the arrow between the 2 points?
Uh-huh.
This is a point-to-point comparison. First point is 10.
Okay.
The second point, let's see, it'd be 9, I guess. So that doesn't look right. That's all the data between. Do we have 11 points or 10 points? Oh, we're in meters, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry, I work in feet all the
I
time.
know.
So I'm going to do it again. So that was accurate.
Okay.
Second point is 10. If you notice, I'm hitting the green check to save all that.
Yeah.
So the vertical distance is 5.19 meters.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
the
it's
height
like
of
15
that.
feet. That makes sense.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
negative because I went. The comparison was
Top,
to
bottom.
bottom, not bottom top. But you can do it either way.
Right. Doesn't matter.
It'll be the same number.
Okay. And to get there, where was that button?
Point.
Where's
So it's called a point-to-point comparison. It's
Oh,
right
there
here.
on the side.
Now, if you have any questions on these toolbars here,
Uh-huh.
you just hit the little question mark down yonder here,
Oh, okay.
and it tells you what all this stuff is.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Yep.
does that make sense?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
I never saw that menu.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Okay. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna map in the fire hydrant. So now I can. Well, I'll do a light standard way down yonder.
And this is giving me X and Y
X, Y, Z.
and Z.
It's 3-dimensional,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Horizontal vector, range and inclination here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to uncheck auto because I'm
Yeah.
going to shoot that fire hydrant over there.
Uh-huh.
But hey, you know what? Let's say I forget,
Yeah.
right? So I forget to uncheck auto, and I'm going to shoot this fire hydrant. Ah, crap! It's the wrong note, right? So now I'm going to uncheck auto. I'm going to go to measure, edit, edit point. The last point was point 12. That's the one I want to edit. So I'm going to hit the green check. All right. the note was a light, but I don't want that. Because now if I had a pick list, I can just change it right there.
Yep.
But since we don't, I'm just going to put, what do you want, FH? Perfect. Okay. I'll add that to the pick list. You can delete those if you want. I'll hit done.
Yep.
So I just edited that point of that feature, that point name.
Okay, great.
Okay. See what I'm doing there?
Yep.
Pretty quick, pretty easy. Now, if I want to get rid of this guy, I just hit that key thing. We're back
Okay.
to our main map screen. There's your zoom button down there.
Okay, so say we just took a point and we're like, whoops, someone walked through and I accidentally
Okay.
ranged to them instead of.
Now this is going to be a procedural thing for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
There's two things you can do.
Yep.
Delete the point.
Okay.
But that point 12 would be gone. So when you're looking at your tabular data and your XY, all that stuff,
Yep.
or you put it in ArcMap or whatever,
Yep.
point 12 is adios. It'll go point 10 or point
Okay.
11 to point 13,
13.
and you might get some questions there.
Okay.
Like, what the hell happened to 12?
Right.
You know, if somebody's looking at your data or whatever.
Yeah.
So what you might want to do is hit the R for reshoot. So the X is delete, R is reshoot.
Okay.
So there's R.
Ooh.
All these buttons.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit reshoot. See what it says right there? Reshoot 12?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so what we would do is go in and write a note that said delete.
So I'm going to reshoot 12, and I'm going to shoot up yonder there. Top of the
Reshoot.
steeple.
And that'll replace
I
point
just
12.
reshot it, yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Ah, you know
That
what?
helps.
Point 12 was a fire hydrant, right? Crap, I just shot the steeple. So what we're
Okay,
going to do,
yeah.
we're going to go back and edit the point again.
Yep,
Makes sense?
yep.
Okay, you could do that at any time. You could do that when you're done. Just don't forget to. You know?
Yeah.
I like to
Oh,
do it
right.
in the field,
So
you know.
you could go back and reshoot any of the points.
Well, you can't reshoot them. Well, you could, as long as you're still here. But if
Right.
you're back in your office, you can go and edit your
Oh,
point.
yeah. I see what
And,
you're saying.
and if you go to edit here, it says edit point series, edit
Mm-hmm.
feature. So, and flip point just mirroring it to the other side, just directly opposite. So you have points, lines, arcs, polygon.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to edit a point series, and so I had a line series, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you wanted all your points on that profile, that beach,
Yeah.
to be a line.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so then you would
did.
shoot it in as a line.
Okay, let's do that.
Then we can. Okay, so let me get out of here.
Let's pretend we're at the beach and we want to take just straight ahead of us.
Okay.
That's gonna be hard because we don't have our rod. So are you just gonna like?
Yeah, it won't be that bad. I'm just gonna.
You could shoot Emily.
Okay. So if you notice, it
me see.
says name list. Okay, and then it says notes. So this is the note's going to be. I'm going to put P for profile.
Okay.
The name list.
Could be like lawn profile.
Well, it'd be just profile or whatever you want to put it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to check auto.
Okay.
Okay. Now watch what happens. See the line being built here?
Oh yeah. So that's gonna hold my X
Constant.
steady.
So
That would have been handy.
Okay. you see
Oh,
that?
that's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to edit that,
Yep.
I would go back to measure, edit,
Yep.
edit feature,
Okay.
right,
line.
profile, and I can edit it right there.
That's cool.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yep. Will it tell me how long that line is? So
Well, you would do it. We'd have to do a point to point. So what I would do,
oh, I see. So we could do like 0.1 to 0.25
whatever it is, we can
and
do
then
a
calculate.
little. We could do a little zoom in here.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I guess we got to do it this way. I forget this isn't a smart device. God.
Right? Can't touch the screen.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, really? I have to zoom in because I can't see. So it's 17 was the end point.
Mm-hmm.
And 13 was the starting point.
Okay.
So we go to point to point.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so 17 is good. Okay, first point is 17. The second point was what, 13?
Mm-hmm.
And there's your line, 73.6 feet.
That's cool. So that's not even under the calculate menu. That's just under the side menu.
Right, but also have a look here. Whoops. Don't be too touchy with this thing. Second point was 13, and this might be helpful for you too. Look at the vertical distance value. This 13 was 2.08 feet lower than 17. Shot 17.
Oh, interesting. So we could get a
Big
slope. That's cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Does it all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what we're gonna do now? We're gonna move the instrument.
Yes.
Because you know
okay.
we got to shoot some crap over there we can't
right.
see
Right.
from here.
Yep.
So we shot everything we can see from here.
Okay.
And this was the best spot. So when you go out in the field, the best workflow, and everything's workflow,
Right.
is find a position, right? If you're going to use GPS for control, that you get good satellite coverage.
Yep.
And you can see as much of the features and data points that you want to map in from that one position.
Right.
Because the less you move, the
The
more
better.
efficient you're on the field.
Right.
Okay, but moving's not a big deal, so
Yep.
don't be scared to move.
Yep.
Emily, when I move, there should be a target here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so we should have a cone.
A cone or something. But you can just put your or just put your foot there, something like that. You know, when I move, you can just put it in there.
Okay.
Right in the center.
Yeah, that's close enough for this exercise. We're
Okay.
just practicing.
A cone would be handy.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now? All this stuff was side shots.
Okay.
So we're gonna hit this top button.
Traverse.
I'm gonna go back to a point, so it's side to traverse. Okay,
Okay. Where was that button?
right there.
Right there.
So-
oh, I see. Okay.
If I hit it back again, it says side. Now it says traverse.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna shoot in.
So then you shoot your next control point.
Right.
Essentially.
It could be whatever it is. Is that a manhole cover over there?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll just shoot this cover right here.
Okay.
Make it easy.
Okay.
Okay.
And if we had a person with the rod, they'd be standing there with the
Absolutely.
rod.
And you'd want to put the traverse target height in.
Correct. Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. I get it now. So if you had a cone there and you were moving to the cone, you would shoot the top of the
So if
cone,
we
and
have
that's
our
your
3
traverse
different
target
profiles,
height.
We could have so you could move and then shoot.
Getting it now.
So wherever you
So we're
shoot
going
is
to
where
call
you move
this a trav, or some people call it CP, whatever.
Is that in the notes?
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
calling it a trav.
Okay.
Some people like to put in the library. You can actually make a library and set it up to this thing.
Okay.
But it could be trav 1, trav 2, trav 3, or CP1, CP2, CP3.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to add that to the pick list. I'm going to hit done. Now,
Okay.
look here. This is where most new users foul up.
Okay.
It says reference azimuth, right?
to. Oh yeah. yeah.
Okay, we have to save that. Here's what the software's doing. It knows it's
Okay.
traversing, so it knows you're moving the instrument,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So it asks you want to save and complement the last angle you took? Well, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
if we don't, nothing's going to be spatially correct in our file
Right.
when we move the instrument.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit that green check.
Yep.
So just
Now,
turn
do you want
over.
to change your instrument height? You can if you want to
Yep.
on the fly, but we're going to leave it alone. So I'm going to hit
Okay.
the green check.
Uh-huh.
We're back to our main map screen.
Okay.
So we just told the software what we're going to do with this instrument point.
Yep.
Okay.
Like we're walking to it.
Now what I'm going to do is this is my workflow. You could do any way you want. I like to go and push this back to side shot before I even move because I want everything back. Okay. You see the 0 button on the encoder? Mm-hmm. When I get over there, I can hit that 0 button and backside to here, and 0 to here. But my suggestion is, what happens when I go do that? If I'm doing a demo or something, people are asking me questions,
Right.
and then all of a sudden I forget. That's not good because your file's not good,
Right.
Or your phone starts ringing,
Yep.
right? Or if you're at a beach, a great white jumps up and eats a
Something.
seal, and something worth looking at, right?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is I go ahead and shut this guy off. Now, as you start to use this more, if you were paying me to do a beat survey, I wouldn't do this. I just hit 0.
Okay.
Okay, but
Yeah.
this is what I like to do.
Okay. So you don't forget
So
to
don't
zero
forget.
it.
So I'm going to pick this up, and we're going to move over to this other instrument position.
Okay. So shutting that off doesn't shut your file down on the Archer.
No.
Okay.
So I set up over my position.
Yep. So if that were a cone or if someone had
Right,
been
I had a
standing
plumb bob where
there.
I can look through the peep sight.
Yep.
Set it all up.
Yep.
Okay. And I go ahead and
Relevel.
yeah, you gotta always mess around with something. Sometimes you can get it with that, sometimes you gotta move away. Now, I'm going to turn on the encoder.
It's gonna blink again, right?
Okay, so it asked me to do my little index Hodikai. So the zeros are blinking. So there's the monument that we had over there, that target, that was where our origin was.
Yep.
And I'm going to simply zero or back sight. Is it your right or left? This side? Your right side. So all I'm going to do is line up on my target. And I just back sighted. Right?
Now, did you back sight to her hand?
No, I just did to her foot.
To
'cause
her foot.
foot's, yeah, that's because she's our target.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. So now, once I did that, I'm ready to start mapping again.
And that set your 0.
It's what it did was what happened is the software complemented the last angle I took for the last feature.
Right.
Hit the trav button, said we're moving here.
Yep.
You want to complement this angle? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Otherwise, all this stuff isn't going to be spatially correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, when I start this back up, I got a 0 from where I left. You got to
Okay.
do that every station move, every
Okay.
instrument move.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
Really
for
important.
the lack of a better term, the inconvenience of an angle encoder.
Okay.
Because you always got to tell it where to start turning its angle from. It's
Right.
not a compass.
Right. Okay.
But it's super accurate. I can use it in a magnet factory because there's no interference.
Right.
That's why surveyors use it.
Yep.
This is a modular total station.
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to map in that concrete thingamajig up there,
Okay.
whatever that is.
Uh-huh.
What is that anyway? It's a what?
So did you change anything on there? So it says it's side shot.
Yeah, I changed it back to side shot. Yep.
Okay. Can you do that before you left so we
Yep.
didn't forget?
Yep.
And you side shotted back to our.
Nope.
You didn't traverse.
I traversed to here,
Yep.
backsided to there.
But there's no code to backside. That's just your first shot setting your angle.
I did that already. That's
Okay.
when I shot to her. To
Got
the
it.
foot.
Got it. Okay.
And when I say shoot, we're not gathering any data there. We're simply setting this up.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. So it
now
doesn't
our
record that
first
point.
feature was up there at that thing,
Okay.
so which was 200 and some odd meters away or better. So I'm going to go back to edit because I forgot to uncheck auto.
Right.
Right. So you can
Yeah.
do this all times.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is that called again?
What's that called again? That building?
No, that concrete thing on top of the
Oh.
hill.
The well.
It's the well.
Did you ever see that movie, The Ring?
No.
That creepy, creepy movie, The Ring?
No.
That's the well in The Ring.
No kidding.
You should watch it. It's very creepy.
Wow. So now that's the well. Notice how my file shrank because it was a 200 and some odd
away.
meter shot.
Right. Okay. Is what it is.
That's what happens.
Okay.
It's just scaling it.
Right. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know what? We're gonna move again.
Okay. Let's move again.
So, because usually this is the hardest part.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit side to trav. I'm gonna uncheck my auto.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And let's move somewhere. Well, let's occupy one of those points over there.
Okay. That manhole guy over there.
Sure.
So we could have a cone, and the cone would register our traverse height instrument.
Okay, now
Okay.
this is a trav, and that note's actually, it always defaults to the last note, or I can always type one in or hit my pick list. I hit done, right? And I'm going to save that reference azimuth. I'm going to save that instrument height. I'm going to turn this back to side shot, and I'm moving. I'm gone.
Okay,
I
turn
shut
it
this
off.
rascal off so I don't forget to re-zero back to here. Okay? And then, so I'm picking this rascal up, and I'm limping over here. Now, if you have to throw this encoder over your shoulder,
Yep.
fold up the legs or whatever,
Yep.
let me show you what to do. See how this thing's turning?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. If you look here, see this knob?
Mm-hmm.
This tightens it down so
Okay.
it doesn't move.
Yep.
Then this is a fine adjust knob.
Mm.
So you can, for those super far shots,
Yeah.
you can dial it right in and smack them.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nice.
All right?
Yeah, because I know sometimes I'd shoot it and my hand would like
Yeah, you can't help but to
tweak it
wiggle
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do now, just go through my
Turn it on again.
leveling procedure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing this for practice. Yeah, I'm quacking up. Okay, so I'm going to turn this baby back on.
Yep.
Do my little index Hodikai here. Get the zeros blinking. There's my target there.
So where we came from.
Where we came from.
We're on traverse. No, we're
Right,
on
and now I
side
just
shot.
zeroed that rascal. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're
So
still
now we're at
here.
side shot.
Okay, zero
Now
that.
we're ready to measure anything we want to measure from this point.
Okay.
And now keep in mind.
And you said you wanted to keep that angle. So over there you shot where you wanted to go and then click the
Yeah,
little...
and when I say shoot, all I'm doing, I'm firing a laser. But
Firing.
all it's doing is lining up the encoder from the point I just left.
Got it. And then saved the angle.
Yep.
Got it.
So this was a tree. So I'm just going to put tree in here. Whoops. And I mean, if you really want to get fancy, you can. You could put the species or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and save that to your pick list. Now you can get rid of these notes if you don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They seem to, with every new file, it deletes all the notes.
Now, from that position to that well was 223 meters, something like that. So, just to run a test, this is point 22. I think point 21 was that. So we're going to do a point to point.
Okay.
So we're going to use point. Second point would be point 20, I suppose. Nope. Okay, so it's 20 and 21. Oh no, it'd be 19 and 21 because this was. 20.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay. And you can look. I can go and look at the point series and look at the notes.
The number.
And then I could have got the number. I was just trying to do it out of memory because I'm silly that way. So point 21 and 19.
Okay.
Yeah, 220.95 meters.
Okay.
So it tells. See what we just did? We moved our instrument, shot in that tree. We already had the well up there on the top of the hill mapped in. You see how when you save that azimuth to ask you for that, it complements an angle. This is why. So because it put, even though we're over here now, it put that tree spatially correct with the well.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
total sense. Okay. Are we ready for a volume?
Sure. When you calc a volume, we're going to have to make a series of the points that are top notes and bottom notes.
Okay.
That's the only way I can calc a volume
Okay, so let's say we want to take a volume of a dune,
of a dune.
which would be similar to a stockpile, I guess.
So you'd be exactly the same.
Right.
Well, you know what? Let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot from here. I'm going to shoot some points on the ground here.
Okay.
Then I'm going to use these trees as the pile, the top. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yep.
Like you're mapping a dune.
Yep.
Okay. That'll work for you guys?
Sure.
I'll show you how to do this.
Or what if that cart was a dune?
That'd be an awful small dune.
Yep.
You
But
wanna
it could
do
be.
the circle, the sand circle, and then the top of that, you just make some.
I could, but I think it'd be. I mean, to get a better volume, I think maybe to get a bigger number. But I could do that if you like.
Yeah, let's do the circle because that's
Sure.
probably.
You betcha.
So
So I'm
we'll,
going to take my first shot to the edge of the circle.
okay.
And you're in side shot?
Yep. And I'm going to call that note, I'm going to call it base.
Okay.
Okay? All right, that's my base. Right? I'm going to check auto. And I'm going to start whacking away at that thing.
So boom, 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 boom. And those will all be base points.
Yep.
So now, if this is really a dune,
You might have to
Couldn't see
traverse
all
around
sides.
it.
we're gonna have to traverse around it.
You got to be able
All
to.
those videos are
Yeah.
waiting.
That makes more sense now. So you're just shooting shots around the circle.
Yep.
And if you wanted to, you could have done the little circle shape and told it that you're making a circle with all these
could've.
points.
There's really, I don't do that really when I'm doing
Okay.
the volume. Okay.
Yep.
Because of that long shot in there, our file got really small. But
Right,
you can
that's
see
okay.
there's our circle right there. We could zoom in.
Yep.
I'm going to uncheck auto, and now I'm going to shoot that post right there.
Okay.
And I'll get a couple, 3 shots in there.
The top of it.
Yeah.
So have we told it we've done base and top anywhere?
Not yet.
Not
This
yet.
is our first top.
Okay.
I call it pile. You can call it. We'll just call it top for sake of argument.
Okay. So if it were a dune, it would be kind of like long and flat. So we take.
So you did the
Anything,
outside.
anything
Kinda
above the toe or the base
Okay.
would be a top or pile shot.
Okay. So we take a bunch of shots around the bottom, and theoretically we could almost take a circle of shots around the top.
Well, the more shots on the pile or the dune, the more accurate your volume is going to be.
Okay. So
Now,
you want to
wanna
like.
shoot the irregular surfaces.
Yeah.
But if it's just smooth, just gosh, it wouldn't take that many shots.
Right.
Right.
Okay. But if you wanted to get it
But
super
you have,
detailed.
your pole, and so then you don't have to traverse around it. You could just do.
Well, you
Oh yeah. If you could see the pole on the other side of it,
sure you
Yeah.
don't have to traverse.
Most likely.
and then walk up on the top of it. Yeah.
Your pole.
Yeah. Kill the dune and you're in the vegetation.
So I'm just shooting some shots in there.
Otherwise, we could do it with.
Okay, those are all top shots. Okay.
Okay.
So we called it top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to measure, calculations, volume.
Okay.
Ask me what's my base note.
Okay.
Remember what that was?
Base.
It was base. Projected base. Okay. Let's say you had a dune pushed up against a canyon wall
Okay. Or a sea
or a
cliff.
man-made wall, a seawall or something. Well, you can't get back there and shoot it, right?
Right.
So what you do is where the material meets the wall, you shoot those points above the elevation, above the base,
Okay.
where the material meets the wall, and give it that projected base note. In my library, I call it P base or pro base, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Right? So what the software will do is just cut that off
Okay.
and connect everything to your elevation shots, your base shots,
Okay.
and calc volume.
Okay. So when I'm
Now,
shooting it, I
this-
need to code it as that,
Yeah.
as kind of that.
It's super important
break
when you're
line
doing
in the
volumes,
back.
right?
Okay.
Because we're going to triangulate.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. There's another step too that might be very handy for you, but it's a more advanced volume type step, and we'll get to that
Okay.
here in a minute.
Yep. So now I've coded. So just to recap, I've coded my points as I'm shooting them. Base, top.
Right.
I've made a base
So-
note to
Right.
cut off the
for
back.
all around the circle was base, and I just shot on that few shots in the pole in the middle for my top.
Okay, so when it pulls down, it's not asking me for certain points. It's asking me
Yes.
for those codes. Or is it
There's
asking
all
for
your
points?
points. There's all your notes.
Okay.
So I just hit top
Uh-huh.
because I want to calc a volume of that.
Okay.
Right. Now this volume above.
Okay.
The only customer I have using it is a chip export plant, pulp chips.
Yep. That's what my dad does.
Okay, well the reason being is they invoice it by dry bone metric tons.
Okay.
Okay, so when you got a moist, wet stuff on top of dry stuff, they'll basically make 2 volumes out of
Right. Okay.
it because it's a different number they put in to calc it. So I
Okay.
give them cubic yards and they put their number in there to come out with the dry bone tons.
Okay. That makes sense.
But you could use a volume above if you want. Material density. So if you want tonnage, so if you know what a cubic foot of the sand weighs, this will spit out cubic yard. Well, in this case, meters
Okay.
and
Tons.
metric tons.
Okay, so that would give you a mass of that volume.
Yeah, but you got to put the density in there. You can make a library because you
Right.
can hit materials and put that in there.
Okay.
So I'm just going to hit calc.
But
There-
that weight is not needed for
No,
So
volume. It's just to
the other
calculate
thing
mass.
is so you
Got
have
it.
to calculate this on
the volume is the cubic meters.
Yep.
So it's 25.56 cubic meters. Okay.
Well, yeah, I see it. Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so we can hit contour. So you can see some of your contours. It looks like a spider web because
Yeah.
it's just a circle.
That's cool.
Get rid of that. So there's your contour. So now what I would do is I'd go File, Save As. There's the file name, the report format, whatever you want, a CAD file, whatever, all above formats, or and just hit Save. That file's created. Or I can go down here and save the large bitmap, save that. take a second for a big bitmap. That's done. We're done. That's saved.
Okay.
So there's the volume for the circle up to where I shot some points on the pole.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have to calculate this on the Archer, or could you pull it up onto the software and then calculate it later? So you get all
You
the
can
points?
calculate it later.
Okay.
You can calculate it anytime.
But it has to be on.
But you
the
got to make sure you
Archer?
got your notes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think that's what we did wrong with our volume. We didn't have the notes set. So we just did
Right.
a whole bunch
Because think of what we're doing. In the calc of volume, you got to have a base and a top, right? So we can triangulate all the points.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep, that makes sense.
And
So
that's
if
kind of
you-
the extra feature that we got with this map smart. We
Right.
got that
That's
ability.
yeah.
Okay.
It's an extra feature. It's a module we sell extra
Right.
to count volumes.
Yeah.
And it's handy for your kind of applications. Obviously, when you're in the aggregate business or you're a gold mine, whatever,
Right.
they
Right.
live off of inventories, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So just so I'm clear, if Linda's using this and she wants to calculate, she's got a stream channel and she's got sort of a wad of sediment right there at the stream channel, right? So she would calculate the same thing, the base, the top, and she would use that backside that she couldn't see or get to
That's projected base.
as projected
Right.
base.
And all
Do you-
it's that way you get a much better estimate. But remember, all the software can do is just cut it off.
Cut it off.
Connect the points.
So it's not
And then
gonna
attach it to the elevation.
it's not gonna make it concave. If it was in a stream
Not
channel?
on the backside. Not when you're calculating the volume. The map would be, of course, but not when you're calculating the volume.
Right. Although she could get kind of the base of that channel and not the
Well,
side.
and here's another use for this.
Cut
This
it
will
off
do
that
a
way.
reverse volume quite nicely.
Okay.
So if let's say she has if there was a man-made channel, right? And they're gonna I do this with logging roads all the time.
Okay.
They're gonna get rid of the logging road and they come to a culvert and a creek.
Yeah.
How many trucks you gonna need? They're
Yeah.
gonna remove all the dirt, all that stuff
Right.
to where the culvert's mounted on,
Right.
right?
Yep.
They're gonna take it out. They're gonna remove it. So they basically do a volume.
Right.
And
How much
we
do
can
you need to
actually
excavate?
calculate in the hole the culvert size too, and take that out of the volume.
Okay.
Most people don't. 'Cause
Yeah.
They'd rather have a little bit too much equipment than not enough.
Right.
Okay, so and then they remove it. Or let's say you're going to backfill something. I did this with the Hoopa tribe up in Northern California,
Okay.
and they have a stream diversion project for salmon and steelhead spawning.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Well, they wanted to know how much material they have removed because they had some other projects. So I just did so the top of the ditch that they built for this diversion
Yep.
was the base.
Okay.
Down into the bottom and along the sides was the top.
Got it.
And it does a reverse volume
Okay.
just as accurate as it does a top volume.
Got it.
It's pretty handy actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
So if you have a big hole in the sand on the beach,
Right.
you could calc how much material he needs to fill the hole up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because the top of that hole would be your base note, the
Right.
bottom of the hole and the sides would be your top note,
Yep.
and we'll calc it out.
Right.
No problem.
Huh. That's cool.
That makes sense? Volumes are pretty simple. Base,
Yeah,
top.
base,
If you have a
top.
pro base, if you have that material pushed up against something else, you can't
Yeah.
get back there shoot, you have to do it. Now,
What is that called again? A base?
We call it projected base.
Projected base. Got it.
There's one other thing you can do. You can actually map in that hole previous to that being filled. Save it as a template. Right?
Yeah.
And then go back when it gets filled up and measure, see how much volume is there. You could do that.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Now,
See what they actually put there.
that's a kind of advanced use. And one
Okay.
thing you have to do is when you map in that template, that hole, you want to leave an origin because when you do the
Yeah.
volume, you got to stand in the same spot.
Okay, so something similar would
Starting.
happen if I went out and mapped the beach before they nourished it.
I don't know what nourishing means. But
Okay, so if I went out and this is our beach, right? And I went and I took a gazillion million points all over the beach and I could calculate a volume, right?
as long as you note it correctly,
Okay.
If you have a base and top, then yes.
So if my base was, say, sea level, if I,
as long as you
Put
had it
in-
marked, you can shoot it.
so that would be the wet dry line,
Okay,
okay?
perfect.
And then the top would be
be the
all
dry-
over,
the
would be
dry
the dry sand.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so would it project that underneath